Hello, friends and family. I've got my Oyster Man hat on today with the long bill. Didn't know this, but my dad told me that my grandfather wore a long bill cap whenever he was out on the water and fishing. And bought this in Rhode Island when I was around all the fishermen up there and didn't even realize I was in some way paying a tribute to my grandfather. So that's kind of nice. What a great day on the water. Hi. So it is very flat this morning. And when it's flat like that, what you have to do with Neverland is there's a fine line where you have to adjust the throttle just right to get the maximum speed. And what I mean by that is you give the boat throttle until you get up to a good speed. But sometimes if you give it too much, especially in flat water, the stern of the boat wants to start digging down because the prop is pushing it further, and it will actually slow you down. So you've got to find the right spot to get the throttle so that it's pretty much like this, because trawlers aren't like normal boats that you put the throttle on and it gets up on a plane on top of the water and goes. A trawler just plows through the water. So it's a fine line on where you get the throttle, the right place to get the maximum speed. So that's what I was playing with today, is trying to get the maximum speed. And when the water's calm like that, you can, there's not as much interaction that's needed on the helm. But later in the day, it got a little windy, and of course I was missing my autopilot. And I know I keep going on and on about missing my autopilot, and I'm going to insert a little video here to show you why I missed my autopilot. Hopefully you can hear me with this microphone over the engine, but I keep talking about how I miss my autopilot, and I keep trying to impress upon you why I miss it so much. And that's because to keep Neverland on course requires a great deal of steering. You've got the current pushing you one way, the wind pushing you another way, and there's a big delay when you make a correction. It takes a while for it to come around, and so there's a tendency to overcorrect, and it's just a mess. We just go back and forth all day. But this is basically what I'm doing for 10 hours a day is trying to keep Neverland on course. And it's kind of like if you were driving down the highway and you make small corrections to stay in the lane. It's the same exact thing, only instead of making a small correction, I have to turn the wheel 4 or 5 times. So, doing this 9 or 10 hours a day and trying to keep up with everything else that's going on and try to make a sandwich for lunch or whatever, it's kind of hard. So I just kind of wanted to show you that it does take a lot of effort just to keep Neverland on a straight track. So getting the autopilot fixed is definitely still a priority. But the rest of the day went really well. It was really nice weather. We got into this harbor. It was really nice here. It's a very nice little town, and apparently they're going to have a fantastic 4th of July show. So I'm really looking forward to a huge fireworks show. It's going to be a nice place to spend the 4th. So a couple of questions or a couple of things I wanted to mention because my update last night was so short. So to connect these two legs together, like I've passed like 8 lighthouses in the last 2 days, which is just unbelievable and beautiful. And I don't know where you can go and take a boat trip and pass that many lighthouses. I mean, it was just fantastic. The water is super clear. It's very nice boating. It's the marinas are fantastic. The marina here, the folks here have been fantastic. They're just really nice people, and I can't say enough about Michigan Marina. They've just been fantastic. So Molly had a better day today, which was good, but she was definitely happy that we got docked, and she actually got loose and ran around the park here for a while, and somebody finally asked, like, whose dog is this? I was like, oh, I didn't even realize she had gotten off the boat. Um, so yeah, that's been the day so far. And the interesting thing is we're now getting down to the nitty gritty where we're getting ready to do our crossing over to Chicago. So not only am I planning tomorrow out, which looks like it's going to be Ludington, but we're looking forward a little bit to look at the weather, look at the seas, and figure out when's going to be the time to cross Lake Michigan over to Chicago. And I really want to do it in one big chunk. So a lot of that will be weather dependent. Like I do not want to be. I don't know if you know this, but they call Lake Michigan the washing machine because when the weather turns, it just there's no the waves don't come in a pattern. It just becomes kind of a chaotic situation, and that's something I definitely don't want to get in. So um, we're definitely going to be looking at like the weather window, the wind, and just the way the currents are flowing because we want to make the crossing as safe as possible, but I'm also like really anxious to get there. Like I'm to the point now where I love the Great Lakes. It's been fantastic. I'm ready to get on the river system where I'm more comfortable, and I'm willing to do whatever I've got to do to get there as quick as we can. So that's what I'll be looking at tonight, looking at like the next 2 or 3 days weather wise, and trying to figure out, like realistically what I'm able to do solo piloting. I don't mind making a long run. I don't mind making an overnight run, but conditions have got to be really, really good for me to pull that off. And so that's all I'm going to be doing tonight is just kind of looking towards the next, not only tomorrow, which that's what I've been doing all along is looking at the next day. But now I've got to kind of plan ahead a little bit because we're getting to the point now we're getting ready to get in on the river system, which is so exciting. I can't tell you how exciting it is over the last couple of days to have the boat pointing south. Like since New York City, we have been going north and west. We've been going, the old got to get up to get down. We've been going north and west this whole time to try to finally get to the point where we can go south. So seeing south on the compass is like very heartwarming because we're finally going in the right direction. So that's been fantastic. And now that we're closing in on the last couple of days of Lake Michigan, it's really hitting home that like, yeah, we're getting ready to be on the river system, and that's a whole other ball game. But it's one that I'm more familiar with and I'm looking forward to. So thanks for checking in. Thanks for all of the messages and everything. Thanks to all of Houston's friends that are checking in. Really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. So tomorrow, hopefully, we're going to get to Ludington, and then we've got some serious decisions to make about when we're going to do the crossing over to Chicago. So I'll check in and keep you posted as what's going on. I hope you guys have a great 4th, and I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you later.